She's a living legend. Nancy Lynch Castellano was one among 90,000 women across the country during World War II who formed a group called the Waves, the only United States naval training school for the women's reserve in the country, located on the former Hunter College campus we know today as Lehman College. Castellano was a guest speaker for the release of her book, Looking Back at the Waves, a chronicle of the Navy women of World War II. She shared what it's like to be back on the grounds of the place she served.
It's an absolute thrill. I feel so blessed. It's almost eerie. It's surreal.
The Waves, short for Women Accepted for Voluntary Emergency Service, was signed into law by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1942, providing women the opportunity to serve their country at a time when they were not allowed to actually be a part of the Navy.
It was a wonderful thing that I think women did. It was wonderful for us, and it was wonderful as we really did help the country a lot by releasing the men for overseas duty.
Barbara Thompson, who is coordinator of Veterans Military Affairs for Lehman College, says the campus has a rich past, a past that Castellano helped to shape.
We thought, it would be important to have, to showcase the roles the women have played. Because women, unfortunately, are always forgotten during the World War II. Thought about, doing work on the home front instead of not really doing this kind of training.
She was born and raised in Belleville, New Jersey. It was as an English major at Montclair Teachers College in 1944 that she enlisted into the Waves. She graduated and remained at Hunter until October 1945, a month after World War II ended. She shared many stories about life on the campus, where women trained for 6 weeks before going on their assignments. Stories that included a campaign visit by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, entertainer Bob Hope, and another one when she was out with her friends for a meal.
One of my favorites is the French restaurant story, where the people paid our bill whose only son had been killed in the Pacific. And when we went to leave the restaurant, this was just after the war, we found they had paid our whole bill, and we were 8 of us.
Then there are other memories like the Kingsbridge neighborhood that embraced the women who traveled in from all around the country.
They loved us. They hung out of their apartment windows and applauded and saluted, and they stood at the barricades with their hats over their hearts, and we just felt very much appreciated.
The Waves were not always present to the impact they would make in the years to come. Nonetheless, their contributions would pave the way for countless others, including Gulf War veteran and current Lehman College student Dorcetius Davis, who got an autographed copy of Castellano's book.
She opened the door, and it's just a continuation, and I'm sure that speak for many women veterans that we're honored.
Other veterans were also in the audience.
The campus and the history behind it, it's amazing.
All this is something Castellano appreciates being a part of.
We really did help the country a lot by releasing the men for overseas duty. And I think it's just really coming around about now that we're truly appreciated. It was, as I said on one of my posters, the start of something big.
While the Waves were never deployed overseas, many were sent to Washington to decode classified documents. That story and so much more are available in her book, Looking Back at the Waves. For BronxNet, this is Arlene Makoko.